Live from Corolla, North Carolina. This is the Anthem Podcast, and this is Corey.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob.
Oh, there is so much to discuss this week.
Well, hang on. I got to take a break from Do Not Commute for a minute.
Is that the app that you and JR were spending copious amounts of money on?
We traveled 300 miles to a beautiful beach town to sit in the living room and play with our phones. Yay, vacation.
Kids today.
So we are coming to you live from Corolla in the Outer Banks, North Carolina.
Yeah, we're on our Posse Vacay.
Yes. Check out hashtag Posse Vacay 15 on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah. And everybody here is just sitting around staring at us. JR in particular is just staring at me.
EP's sleeping. So
EP's sleeping. We have an extra microphone, so there might be
chiming in.
Especially
if Grandma T over here gets a little started. You might have something to say.
We're going to have to get a picture of that. Do we need shots?
Nobody needs shots. It's midnight. You definitely don't need shots.
Do I need shots? No. Do I want shots? Yes.
But you were doing server life, so you should get like some tray and bring some shots around.
We have plenty of teacups.
Plenty of teacups to go around.
We have shot glasses too. So.
Yes, we do. We have individualized shot glasses. Everybody can pick a color and take a shot glass.
I have the purple one.
I have the blue one. Everything else is up for grabs. Oh, no, Maggie has the pink one. Everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah, so y'all can fight about it.
You should take her pink one.
We have shot glasses and I just wasn't aware.
Yes,
yeah.
We have color-coded shot glasses.
You weren't here yet, so you lost out on being able to get first crack at shot glasses.
There is a yellow.
Yeah.
This is just good pod, I
think.
think.
Good pod.
Yeah. So the posse has invaded the South, much like during the War of Northern Aggression. The Yankees came down, and I guess it's the Orioles in this case, not the Yankees. But whatever,
right.
We're here.
I prefer not to be associated with the Yankees. But.
Damn Yankees.
But to be fair, we're south of the Mason-Dixon line. So we're kind of, we can be wherever we want to be.
Right. We are, you know the story that Maryland was voting to whether or not to join the Confederacy, secede and join the Confederacy, and it came down to Caroline County casting the deciding vote. And the vote was a difference of two. More people voted to stay in the Union. And then there was a whole bunch of voter fraud stuff. Like a bunch of guys got beaten up when they were going to the polls, and like a whole bunch of stuff happened. So
that doesn't sound like Caroline County to me.
A drunken brawl in the street to keep people from the voting booth?
Yeah.
That would never happen.
I don't know.
Yeah. But the South has been in the news.
Sounds like Chicago politics to me.
But the South has been in the news a lot this week, actually, unfortunately.
Yeah, so
go ahead, talk about how you want to take my guns away.
I'm sure you are all aware of, it's Daryl, right?
Yeah.
Spelled weird.
Very weirdly, and his middle name is Storm, and then his last name is Roof.
Yeah, so obviously he has problems with his parents, so he had to take it out on other people.
I feel like this is the guy who's drinking Mountain Dew out of a baby bottle. Like, that's the kind of guy we're dealing with here.
Go away, Baton. I imagine he says things like that.
Yeah.
So this psychopath, allegedly.
To be clear, it's allegedly.
Yeah, until there's an actual verdict, we have to say allegedly.
Oh, wait, I think he actually admitted to it, though. So
yeah, but until he says it in court.
Oh, fair enough.
Allegedly. Okay. And why am I the one who knows this?
Here? Come on.
Robert's had too many Coke Zeros, so he doesn't. Does that one say share with a bro?
It does say share with a bro. Hell yeah.
Share it with yourself. Oh, man.
Turn it.
Oh.
You should turn it, EP. You're taking a picture of the long ways. It's going to look all weird. Yeah.
How long do I have to pose?
No, the filmmaker, yeah.
No, what are you going to do? This again.
That'll be in the video.
This plays so much better in video if we had live video. Unfortunately, not.
Anybody who's tuning in for the live video, by the way,
not this week.
Sorry, there wasn't a way to make that happen.
So
from North Carolina,
fuck yourselves,
because they don't have advanced video camera technology
in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Well, the internet's been spotty.
We're actually just doing this podcast between two cans and a string, and it's going all the way back to Maryland.
I wasn't sure what that motion was. I don't know where you were going with that.
Why it was this?
But the 2-inch diameter penis. Speaking of which,
Yeah, we have much to talk. Well, let's get
do
through,
Charleston
yeah.
first. Go ahead. Yeah. So go ahead. Tell me, Mr. Nazi, how you're going to take my guns away.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
there yet.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm not there yet.
You don't even have guns.
My theoretical guns.
Yeah.
Yo, I do have guns. Boom. Boom.
Rob is showing off his flab
Yeah.
and saying that they're guns. So Daryl Roof went into a historic black church in Charleston. Which one was it? I can't remember the name.
Emmanuel African Methodist. It's AME something church.
Yeah.
Evangelical.
He stayed around for a Bible study.
Yes.
And then he killed 9 people.
Took the time to Snapchat everybody. Did
he Snapchat everybody?
Some Snapchats in the church.
Jesus Christ.
Just before and he said he felt really bad right before he did it because they were very nice people, but he was there on a mission and he had to go through with it.
Well, one of the things that I've heard is that he wanted to start a new race war.
So, if you are a forward-thinking person, I would encourage you to read the book The Turner Diaries, because this is white supremacist literature, but it gives you an idea of what's the mentality of these people. But they
Idiots.
are, yeah, sure. But they believe that there's a race war coming, basically like one in the Turner Diaries. And they've been making a lot of hay about the jacket that the kid wore with the Rhodesian flag and the the apartheid South American flag on it. But those are both historical references that the white supremacists use. So, shout out to my bros. JK.
Your bros, the white
JK.
supremacists.
JK.
The people who live all around you.
Head shakes all around, yes.
It's like real time, like
Judgment.
scene. Yeah. We don't have to wait until Tuesday when somebody on Twitter says,
What the fuck?
when somebody goes at
Yeah.
the anthem and says, like, what the fuck is Rob's problem?
But no.
And then I have to reply to it with, I don't know what at Robert N. Cheek's problem is.
But yeah, so he wanted to start a race war. He thought he was going to be the first. Timothy McVeigh thought that he was going to be the first actor in a revolution, and this kid thinks he's going to be the first act in a race war. People with delusions of grandeur. I don't even know how they get those. Who think that they're far more important than they really are, and that the things that they do really matter. And so this is what happens.
Well,
what? No, me? Never.
The I
By the
think-
way, you can read my book, The Movement Insurrection. It's available now on Amazon.
I think what I would like to say to all the people who think that their one action is going to spark some sort of huge thing,
Yeah,
normally doesn't work out.
not so well.
And if anybody brings up the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, I would like to bring up the fact that the only reason why that was able to carry out the way it was because his car stopped before.
And it was
The
actually
actual-
the
yeah.
second time that somebody tried to kill him. Two
Yeah.
different people. Somebody threw a grenade in, and they forgot to pull the pin before they tossed it in his car.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, how scary is that? You see the grenade come in, pin still in it. You're the guy walking away like, you pulled the pin, right? Wait, what?
Wait, there's a pin?
Shut. But no.
I would just be taking like pictures of it. I'd be like, haha, nice try.
Snapchat it. But no, and it was also...
I jump on a grenade for you.
It was...
Is that how that song goes? I don't know.
The geopolitics of the time also was the cause that
Yeah.
you would go to war for a country like Serbia because you were allies or whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, so not as big a deal. By the way, the guy who didn't buy Hitler's painting in 1927 or whatever also was a cause.
Yeah. So
there you go.
don't imagine that your one action is going to be the reason that a race war starts.
Well,
Because-
don't try to start a race war. Number
Well,
one.
yeah, I mean,
Number two.
like it'd be like if somebody came up to me and they're just like, I want to be the next great American novelist, and I'm going to write this book to become the next great American novelist. I would probably say like, well, let's not set our goals too lofty now. Like, how about just become a novelist first,
Right.
and then work your way up until eventually you're the greatest American novelist.
I just want to mention my new book, Foe, is also available on Amazon as
boring.
of
That was last
week.
week. Boring.
Last week.
Your last week's news.
We are slowly climbing the charts at Amazon. I think we're up to like 493,000, somewhere in that zone.
Ooh.
So I know, yeah. Big time.
You're right behind a George Foreman grill.
The books are listed separately. How dare you?
A used George Foreman grill.
It costs about the same. So listen, if you're going to make an investment...
Listen, you can still burn things with a lighter to cook them. Rob's book.
Irreplaceable. Yeah, never going to
Unless you burn it with a lighter.
Unless you also burn it with a lighter. Yeah. It can also cook your food.
Yeah.
See? There you
Just
go.
light it on fire and then cook your steak on it.
On top of it.
Done. We figured out a new... You don't need to buy that George Foreman grill now.
Buy my book.
Just buy Rob's book. Burn it. It all counts the same.
Buy and don't read, apparently. That's fine, too. I don't really
Or
care
you know
about
what? Buy it, light it on fire, make a big thing about like how it's trash, and then everybody in America will rally against the like, oh, you book burners.
I would super, super love if somebody had a book burning party for my book. I would enjoy that immensely. I'm okay with that, I think. So that's fine.
Yeah.
But, so the usual two sides of the story in Charleston have risen up, and you have the don't take my guns. I put my shotgun on the front porch with 6 shells, and it laid there all day. I thought it couldn't move, so I put it in a wheelchair, and blah, 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 blah. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah.
And then we had the, why do we have so many guns? Guns are bad. Don't do guns. Okay.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've said this, but you might be listening to this for the first time, so welcome.
Go fuck yourself.
Everybody else, go fuck yourself. But I don't have any desire to own guns. I don't really have any particular opinion on guns.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people who enjoy them, and they seem perfectly well calibrated, so I'm fine with them having them.
Mm-hmm.
I just am not in favor of psychopaths owning guns. And I think that should just be a general... I feel like anybody who's, like, gearing up to, like... say that, like, there shouldn't be stricter gun control laws should realize that this guy purchased a gun, went into a church, and didn't commit a crime until he pulled the trigger.
Right.
Obviously, it didn't take me very long on, like, reading about this guy to realize that he was probably a psychopath who shouldn't own a gun.
And by the way, in treatment, and his psychologist did not flag him.
Yeah.
So somebody dropped the ball. It wasn't the guy who sold him the gun. It was the psychologist who said, this kid's got problems. Why are we...
Well, not only that, I feel like you should be able to, like... If you say anything that might tip somebody off to the fact that you're going to use your gun for harm and not for, like, personal safety or hunting a bison or something like that, then... You should... I'm pretty sure you can't hide up...
I'm pretty sure they're endangered. I don't think you can hunt them.
But I mean, like, if I said, like, oh man, if I buy a gun and I see Lady Gaga on the street, I'm totally going to shoot her in the face one day, then clearly I shouldn't ever own a gun because I have made a direct threat that if I do own a gun and I run across Lady Gaga, I will shoot her in the face.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay.
And I feel like if as soon as you, even if there's no joking about it, like, other than right there where it was hilarious. Because you heard everybody laugh.
The room was in tears in here. Yeah,
I just turned down all the mics so you could not. It wouldn't blast out your speakers. But
the electronic devices are back out.
Everybody's on an iPad or a phone.
I see. Is there Candy Crush going on in the corner? Yes, Candy Crush is going on.
ZP on Twitter.
No, I was Googling because I thought you could shoot bison on Catalina Island in California, and it's true.
Ooh, so apparently you can.
Let's go live our TR fantasy.
Shooting bison.
With a big game rifle.
Yeah.
Like an elephant gun.
Overpopulated on that island.
I want to ride around in like an open top Jeep with one of those horns that like go like Aruga. And just startle the bison and then just start shooting them as
I prefer we could just get on a train and I can just ride by. Like the good old days.
Just hanging out on top of a train.
Yeah.
hat on backwards, going like, "Oh, it's gonna be a good one."
Exactly. That's how I am when I hunt. You captured it exactly right.
You just channel your inner Bradley Cooper from American Sniper.
Oh, I didn't see American Sniper. I refuse to give that movie money. When it comes out on Netflix, I will watch it then.
Okay.
And I won't put it in my
queue.
So they don't get paid.
They only get paid a little bit.
Screw them. None of my money.
Or just watch it on somebody else's.
Yeah. I'll watch it on Sarah's. I think I have her password. I'll watch it on her Netflix.
I remember when The Ugly Truth came out on DVD, and I said, I want to see this so bad because it looks so bad. Right. And I was like, why don't you just put it on your Netflix queue? I'm just like, don't want to support it in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then she bought it or like got it from Netflix, and then she was watching it, and then after the credits rolled, I walked in. I was just like, what's this? And I knew exactly what it was, but I was like,
I'll take that. Thank you.
I'll just sit down here and watch this, whatever it happens to be. And it was terrible.
Yeah.
And it was bad.
Yes. Is that Gerard Butler?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yes.
Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, that's right.
And I called it being written by 4 women while I was watching it.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so shoot people get shot.
Yeah, I feel like we should all just be on the same page that psychopaths shouldn't be allowed to own anything. Mm-hmm. They should just be put away forever in an institution, not allowed to.
I'm endangering myself if I agree with that. I don't know that I can agree with that completely.
Well, I'm not saying it's an open-ended, every single person who's a psychopath kind of thing. But I think,
anybody who advocates violence?
No.
Still not comfortable with that.
There were people... I don't know if this happened at every school or if it just happened at mine. But there were people I was worried would be the ones who do the school shooting.
Do they have an IFAC badge that you have to give out? Or EFAC? What is it? I have no idea. I was looking for support. And is it IFAC badge? What is it? What did you have? Huh? IFAC? Tag. ILAC tag. There you go.
What is that?
Did you not miss that? Did you miss that story?
Yeah.
That thing.
Oh, when somebody hurt. Hey, grab the mic if you want to explain it. No. When somebody.
Rob Clark is very committed to downloading but not listening.
Exactly. He's not participating in any way.
I am loved and something.
And cared for.
Cared for?
Loved and cared for.
I am
I was just reading about a 6-inch
cared about. I'm loved and cared.
I am loved and cared about.
Yeah, so when somebody hurt your feelings, you would tear off a little piece of paper from this badge and give it to them to let them know they hurt your feelings. And it helps kids learn to appreciate the feelings of others because the things we say have an impact. And not that it's a bad thing to have in schools. It's just not something I had in my school. My school where I hit a kid in the head with a rock through a plate glass door. And they were angry about me hitting the kid with a rock. So,
yeah. Well, probably should be.
I thought they'd be more upset about the glass door, but,
Well, taxpayers take care of that part.
Private school.
Other kids' parents take care of that part.
Yeah. Yes. And I don't think they paid very much because my dad was in the church. So the church members got a discount for the school. So
the church paid for your door.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I like to think, we're even, big guy. All right.
Rob just pointed to God.
All those hours spent in church. We're even now. So
yeah,
psychopaths shouldn't have guns. How do you weed out the psychopaths?
Anybody who's, I feel like anybody who's truly defending this as like, they got to keep. They can't take away our guns. They can't take away our Second Amendment rights and stuff like that. Should really just take some time to realize that we are dealing with somebody who's completely unhinged who didn't commit a crime until he killed somebody.
And I am not in the everybody should have the right to have guns camp.
If he stole the gun,
right?
Like if he broke into somebody's house and stole the gun, then he committed crimes before he actually shot people. Which at what point, are we like?
But so much like some examples, I can't remember. God, I think the strawberries are kicking in.
We had lights out strawberries, by the way.
And no nap today. I feel like a nap is necessary on vacation. A lot of sun.
15 whole minutes.
In the sun, though, so it was like baking. It wasn't really so much napping. It was baking like a pizza.
It was burning his brain out.
But no, so like you can't you don't want to overreact to a negative situation. And this kid fell through a loophole, and that kind of happens. Just like a welfare abuse. There's about a 1% abuse of the welfare system.
Right.
So do we then stop giving everyone welfare because there's a 1% abuse? No. We adjust the system to try and match it. Yes, psychopaths get guns, so we need to adjust the system to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and
everybody else.
I feel... but this is one of those situations where I don't really care about the 5% of people who are well-adjusted and fall into the psychopath category and therefore can't get guns. Mm-hmm. If you're close enough to the line where you would be a psychopath that I'm worried would shoot people, then I feel you shouldn't own a gun anyway.
Okay. 88,000 people in this country are killed in drunk driving accidents every year.
Okay.
We should make alcohol illegal.
No.
That's your same solution now.
No, it's
because
not.
There's a problem and we can address it by not having alcohol. And it doesn't impact anybody negatively. It's taking away a right that you have, something that you can get.
Or how about this? How about instead of how about making a law if we're going down this drunk driving thing? Why not just make a law where it's illegal to let somebody leave someplace being blackout drunk?
And we have the same problem that we have with your testing standard is who gets to set the levels? Who gets to say what is? Because you or I have 4 drinks and we're a certain level of drunk.
Yeah.
And someone like Maggie has the same number of 4 drinks and she is probably twice the blood alcohol level that we are.
Right.
So how do we set the levels? Is it number of drinks? Do we do a blow and go on the way out the door? Now, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with everybody having a blow and go in their car, theoretically.
I'm not.
Because that would be, for me, that's a lot like the gun licensing. Yes, you shouldn't get behind the wheel if you've had too much to drink. Because, by the way, that's the law. It's not you can't drink and drive. It's that you can't drink too much and drive.
Right.
So everybody gets a blow and go in their car. You blow in it to start the car. That's a lot like having those tests or having the examinations before you buy a gun. Having the background checks before you buy a gun. Same thing.
You can have the gun with just one bullet.
I like the Chris Rock approach.
Chris Rock, but yeah.
Yeah, like
guns are free. Bullets are $500,000 each.
Yeah. So
better hope I can't get no bullets on layaway.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to make something happen, you got to do it. You got to pay $500,000 for a gun.
You really
for
want
a bullet.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there's no good solution. But I can tell you is that the history of America says this: there will be an overreaction, and then there will be a counter overreaction.
Oh, we're already overreacting.
Nothing is going to get done. Just like Newtown, just like every other shooting before that, nothing will ever change.
Yeah.
So,
the only things that change are the things that are reactions to. You know, kids now have to go through metal detectors when they go into school.
Right.
Awesome.
I haven't. A metal detector before we go into an Orioles game.
Yeah.
True. And by the way,
somebody brought a gun into a baseball game.
Right. I mean, it doesn't solve anything.
He went to catch a home run ball, and there was a concealed weapon in his.
It's the illusion of safety. It's just like taking your shoes off when you get on the airplane.
Yeah.
The TSA has caught 0 terrorists.
Right.
But EP gets felt up every time she goes through an airport security. She has some loose change in the bottom of her purse, and they make her dump the whole bag out.
I thought it was a bomb.
A pipe bomb. Yeah. And I got to take my shoes off because one guy had the idea to blow up a plane with his shoes. We all want to feel safer, so we do these things to help us feel safer.
Right.
And maybe they just want to feel me up.
And they probably do just want to feel her up.
But the honest to God truth is that if we I'm not saying take everyone's guns away. Mm. But if you're a reasonable human being, this doesn't apply to you.
Okay.
If you are anywhere close to, I am worried that you might kill somebody with this gun.
Right.
Then you're not getting a gun.
All right, litmus test. Can I get a gun?
Yeah.
You're not slightly concerned that I might use it?
I'm slightly concerned, but I'm not slightly concerned in the way that, like, you know, Daryl Roof was going to kill somebody.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, here's my point. I imagine that you would tell me the story of you shooting somebody, and I would somehow imagine that you would paint it in a way where I would think that you were being attacked or at fault in some way. I could definitely paint it in that way.
Yeah, so therefore I wouldn't be as like if you could commit a crime with a gun and get innocent in court, then yeah, own a gun.
Okay,
but this guy is gonna probably get the death penalty, at the very least spend the rest of his life in jail.
No, he's getting a death penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're never going to get a jury in Charleston that doesn't get him a death penalty.
Yeah. 9 people, too.
Yep.
Like...
So here's my point. I know who has the answer to this problem.
Who?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
If any man can fix this, Donald Trump can fix it.
He seems to have a lot of answers, and the 43% of Americans who said that they might actually consider voting for him.
Might consider voting for him.
Yeah.
The 57% who said no, even if he was the only candidate, I would check the box that said other.
If it was Donald Trump versus Hillary, there's 57% of people who would say no to Hillary.
Donald Trump versus Donald Duck. 50%.
So they would still vote
Yeah.
for Donald Duck. Yeah.
There are people out that, like, the actual poll was 57% of people said that under absolutely no circumstance would they vote for Donald Trump.
Right.
So he already doesn't have a chance of winning.
But voters change. Voters are very ornery.
Unless we get some sort of crazy electoral college thing where he just picks up, like, New York, California, Texas.
And they're split amongst all the
And it's just
independent
100% of all those states. And actually, 51% of all those states. And then, like...
He wouldn't need 51% of all those states. You can get... If they're split amongst 3 candidates, if there's an independent, which I suggest...
Oh, well, true, yeah.
Like, Rand Paul might go through the primary and then run as an independent in the general election. Yeah. Speaking of which, not doing so well, Rand Paul.
Though, I found that a recent poll of people on Facebook had Rand Paul as the favorite. So.
I saw a tweet that said somebody should tell Rand Paul that Facebook's not real life.
Oh, man. What I love about this part of the election cycle is that there's absolutely nothing happening.
So therefore, making it up.
Yeah, they're just trying to... They so desperately want to talk about the election that...
They want to have 2 years of news coverage now. That's
right.
what it all is.
Yeah.
It's all about 2 years of news coverage, and let's move. Donald Trump gets in, and it's a lot like... I don't know, like the Joker, like the court jester joining the race to be the next king, and you're like, all right, buddy, come on in.
No, you're allowed to run.
You're allowed to run.
Everyone's allowed.
But and in his speech to announce, he announced how rich he was, and then immediately goes to the Republican donors. Like, so by the way, I need some funds to get this show on the road. I know I said I'm super rich, and look how successful I am, but I'm not going to spend my money on this nonsense. Are you kidding me? I have no chance of winning. I'm not wasting my money.
How do you think I got to be rich? By not spending any money. So, you know.
But
anytime.
yeah, so, and then on the other side of the equation...
I'll just grease this palm if you want to...
On the other side of the equation, you have Bernie Sanders, who looks like a crazy Donald Trump-esque character.
Yeah.
But had the highest recorded
turnout for a political event in Denver.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Polling in the 70s in Iowa. That's unheard of.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I still maintain that Bernie Sanders can't keep it up.
We'll see.
And at some point, he's going to say something that...
Hey, listen, we don't need to bring personal attacks in here. I know he's an old guy, but there's medicines he can take for that.
I don't think the medicines can help him. I just think I think much like... I've said this about Ben Carson, too. Like, I like Ben Carson.
Right.
But Ben Carson has the tendency to speak without thinking about how his words are going to be interpreted.
Right.
So he might say something like, abortion is slavery. And not think that people might take that out of context.
Right. Yeah. Here's the difference, though. Bernie Sanders don't give a fuck. Yeah. He's got a senatorial election.
Carson's the same way.
That's true.
Carson doesn't care.
But Bernie Sanders has been a lifetime politician, so he has the experience doing that. Ben Carson, good at hearts, bad at politics.
Brains.
Is it brains? I thought he was a heart surgeon.
It's a neurosurgeon.
Okay, so good at brains, not so good at politics.
Neuro still means brain, right? Okay, EP nod.
We're getting a nod. Yes,
I got an affirmative from a nurse, so.
So
The official
nurse of the Anthem Podcast.
So the difference is Bernie Sanders has a Senate campaign in 2 years.
Yeah.
So if he loses, he's still going back to the Senate. And
right.
He will never lose that Vermont. Is it Vermont?
Yeah.
Vermont Senate seat. No matter what. He could go out there and just be like, fuck all of you. And they're going to be like, Bernie's so cute. I'm going to go vote for him. So
he's good people.
he's just the old guy at the party who's just like, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. He had a conference where he was talking about union members, and he had a bunch of union leaders get up there. And then after they were all done, periscoped it, because Bernie Sanders on the cutting edge of technology, obviously. At the end of it, he gets up there after all the union leaders spoke, and he was like, now don't get me wrong, unions have too much power, and we need to work with each other to try and have the workers have a good relationship with their union, and the union have a good relationship with business. And the guys on the stand are up there on the dais were just like, oh, didn't know that was happening. Okay. Need to probably get out of here. Thanks, Bernie. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
When you said that Bernie Sanders is on the cutting edge of technology, I just like to imagine that somebody like runs into his like campaign headquarters, and they're just like, quickly, we need a $50,000 buy in Chicago today. And he's just like, all right, hold on a second. I'll just yo my Chicago guy and just yo. He knows what it means. Everybody knows what yos mean.
I just like to imagine him just like with a phone and just like staring at it. Like I can't see the screen. Probably a BlackBerry. I feel like he's a BlackBerry guy. Yeah, he's a BlackBerry guy. Like
an old one though. He's still like hanging on to like a 3800.
God, I don't even remember what BlackBerry did we have back in the day.
54.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was a good phone.
I liked it.
Yeah, back when the unlimited data meant something.
Up until it just became too much to.
I think that this is part of what we do. Like we were talking shit about touchscreens because we're like, listen, the BlackBerry is the future. I don't know if you understand.
It's got the keyboard.
The touchscreen is going to go. It's going to come and it's going to go.
Well, you know what I felt like when I went from my BlackBerry to, I think I went right to the S3, if I remember correctly.
That you then had for 9.5 years?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think, it was the S3. So I went from the BlackBerry to the S3. I must have felt like how people who have new iPhones feel. Mm-hmm. Like when they get all the technology that we've had for like 3 years with the Android.
Because you talk so much shit
and
about
they're
it for
just
so
like,
long.
they just like get into it and they're just like, oh my God, did you know that there's a thing for like fingerprint scanning and it has like biometrics and I can do my heart rate? Like, that's awesome, right? It's just like, yeah.
We've had that.
My S3 has that. The phone from 1974.
And by the way, I just so it's in recording, I wanted to acknowledge that Corey has called the Apple stylus that will come out in 3 years, and everyone's made fun of the stylus.
Yeah,
and then in 3 years there'll be a $500 Apple stylus, and everybody will want it.
Yep, that's
just
exactly.
Like, got so much shit over those big screens. Why would you want a screen that big? It's horrible. How can you even use it? Oh my God, the 6 Plus is out. Have you seen this screen? It's fantastic.
The I/O developer conference that JR is this year.
Rolling eyes.
Fans disapprove of this.
Yeah.
Although he's
well, I'm sure.
Washing.
I'm sure nobody who has any Apple products listens to podcasts. So.
No, why? Of course they would. I have enjoyed the watch.
By the way, if you want to download this podcast on the iTunes store, you can just search for the Anthem and
download it on iTunes. It'll be replaced with static.
I have enjoyed.
I'd like to imagine that all of this part is just like buzzed out. It's like, wow, that the Anthem Podcast had some technical problems right around the 30-minute mark.
Right when they were talking about Apple products.
Yeah.
Been elevating my heart rate over here.
I gotta say, I am enjoying vicariously seeing the watch in action. But I was a supporter of the Gear too, the Samsung Gear. Even though I was like, I'm not gonna spend money on that because it's gonna suck. So,
I don't know what I want from the watch. I just know it's not out there yet.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to read my mind. That's what I want. I feel like if it's in my body.
I feel like if I had a really cool watch, I'd wear. I don't wear anything right now.
Yeah.
So like, it'd have to be something that would dramatically improve my life to make me wear a watch.
I don't know if you know this. There's a Mickey Mouse clock.
Wait a minute. No way.
Yes.
Wait.
There absolutely is.
How come you didn't tell me about this earlier?
We're going to have to put this on pause while we run out to the Apple store.
You're supposed to be the one who's telling me about these things, JR.
There's also a delete podcast button.
Oh, is there really a delete podcast?
The delete podcast button. Oh, no.
You already downloaded. You already count.
It's already...
I don't
Thanks
care.
for the support.
I don't care if you listen. I just care if you download.
Actually, subscribe would be good. If you want to subscribe and then just never even download, I think that's fine too.
Subscribe. Go to iTunes at some point. Say like, oh my god, 15 the Anthem Podcast. What am I ever going to do? Just delete these all. Haha, caught you.
Got it.
You're in as a number now.
Oh,
You're officially a number.
Oh, speaking of numbers, I got an interesting number for you. 870 quadrillion.
Yeah. It sounds a lot different from the 61.4 quadrillion that I came up with. All right, so let's back up to the beginning.
Let's go back to the
beginning because this is going to be a little bit convoluted, but it's going to end with how Rob and JR
did some simple math.
Want to cut your penises off and send them to Jupiter. So
what a tease. Good for you.
Your average penis.
The average
penis. Erect, not flaccid, because apparently flaccid penises don't count.
That's right.
Or baby penises.
Or baby penises. So, actually, JR, would you mind? Would you mind grabbing the mic so you can just be like, if you need to get in?
Yay, guest star.
So JR is here, just in case he needs to contribute anything.
I'm going to make sure this story is straight.
Yeah, sure. And he's good at the math parts, so.
I will have you know that I did
drop out of school, though. So.
I did all the math. I did all the math without having to write down all my calculations on the piece of paper.
Some of us like to be scientifically accurate, and we wanted to check the numbers to be sure. Some of us willy-nilly throw out these numbers.
There's going to be plenty of time to argue. Hold on. Let me just get to the...
Right so I'm sorry, yes.
Let me get to the story, because there's people who are listening and going like, what the hell are they talking about?
I'm going to review my part of the story.
That's what Rob was. He was sleeping during this part. EPJR and myself were all standing outside, and there were two bright objects in the sky.
Coming from the city, we had never seen anything other than a glow in the sky above us. So these dots...
We've never seen anything other than gunfire into the air.
We thought it was the apocalypse. The aliens are coming for us.
Yeah. But needless to say...
I knew it was a planet.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, in a triangle formation, there was up at the top Jupiter... Mm-hmm. To the left of our view, the moon, mm-hmm. and to the right of our view, Venus.
Okay.
And I made some sort of remark about how it's funny that Venus looks like double the size of Jupiter, mm-hmm. even though it's significantly smaller. But the reason that we see it this way is because, it's like one of those like optical illusions where like...
Sure.
A baby looks bigger than a door, but it's because the baby's so close and the door's so far away.
That was an odd choice of terms. But
You've never seen that one before? It's like a famous optical illusion thing.
No, I haven't.
Well, you're going to find it when you search for things with a video.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Anywho, then we got onto the conversation of how many Venuses would fit into Jupiter. Mm-hmm. And I Googled it. I said,
using your voice.
Yeah. I just used my
Siri
voice.
would not have made this mistake.
Yeah. I made the voice search and I said, okay, Google, how many Venuses would fit into Jupiter? And it gave me an exact answer almost immediately with math.
Okay, Google. Oh, wait, I have my sound turned off. Wait. I was trying to do the effect. Hang on.
Would you like me to get an Apple product involved?
No, we don't need Siri.
Yeah.
Okay, Google.
Siri would just pull up Google searches.
How many penises can fit in Jupiter? Anyway.
It's how many Venuses.
That's what I said.
You said penises.
Whatever.
He was not involved at this moment.
No, I was
sleeping.
Right. Go ahead.
He went to bed at like 4 o'clock.
Needless to say, I asked Google. Google gave an answer almost immediately with math involved and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And then we got off on a tangent about, it sounded like you said penises. So I asked Google how many penises would fit into Jupiter. And then we had more conversation about how the government's really going to enjoy my Google search history when they look at it.
Some guy at the NSA is just like, I have no idea what's going on.
What is happening? So now we needed to figure out how many penises would fit onto Venus. Onto Jupiter.
For some reason, in a drunken-induced state, this became extremely important.
To know the actual answer.
It was.
Now, this is where I started to come up with the math.
Hold on. Let's just rewind. What was the question again?
How many penises fit into Jupiter?
Okay. All right. Let's proceed with your mathematics.
I took the most dense city in the world, which was a city in India. I don't remember the exact name of it now.
Mumbai?
No.
Calcutta?
Starts with an N.
Oh, I would have failed in 5 seconds. I can't even come up with another city.
New Delhi?
No. It was something like Nepal, but it wasn't Nepal.
Nepal's a country.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it was something like Nepal, but not Nepal. Anywho. Just got really indignant there all of a sudden. Just like I did with that person on the Baltimore Sun message board. Anywho, I figured out that 44,000 people fit into a square kilometer, and then I did the math of how many people would fit into a kilometer cubed.
Nagapatam?
What?
Nagapatam? Nagarcoil?
Search for what's the most population dense city in the world, and then you'll get it.
San Francisco is rated number 2.
Is it? That's almost
Manila,
hard to
Philippines,
believe.
maybe?
No. It was in India.
Manila is number 1. So first of all,
there was some voodoo math right there. You're just willy-nilly throwing out these.
To me, it almost sounds like you're looking for how many penises comfortably fit in Jupiter.
Okay, so the world...
It's not comfortable. 40... I don't know if you know what a kilometer squared is, but it's 44,000 people in a kilometer squared is not...
Square miles into
I did that part.
in a pubic space?
In a what?
Anywho,
I'm not finding a list on which this city is.
I'm going to find it because it's in my search history, and then I'll.
Are you on the wiki? Yeah, you're on the wiki.
I'm on the Wikipedia.
I'll report back. Anywho, hold on a second. We got something.
We have researchers that are checking out things here. Is this according?
Yeah,
to...
this isn't the one that I. I appreciate it though. Oh my god!
Oh, what are you doing?
I hate your answer so much. I'm throwing your iPhone on the ground.
Funny
is
that
all right?
he dropped the Apple product on the ground.
Do you see what the first city is?
And it didn't agree with what Google told him.
Are you sure
it
wasn't
was Bing?
Are you sure it wasn't Manila, Philippines? Because that is what's coming up on everything.
Hold on.
It's almost an M.
All right, listen. I think this is pointless. It
if
doesn't
we
matter
are getting-
what the city
we are
was.
getting
It
way
matters
off.
the math that was involved.
Yes, so let's get to your voodoo math. Come on.
Anyway, I figured.
Yes,
I
but
took
he's I don't know.
I took
he
the
knows
colo-
he's going to lose this.
I
so.
took the 44,000 people by kilometer squared,
Right.
and then turned it into cubed,
Okay.
and then made them.
So this is now your second mistake.
into a
Okay.
cube.
Yeah. So your first mistake was wrong city, wrong population density, and then your second mistake was just saying, let's just cube that. And then
I didn't say just cube that.
I was going to say, I'm going to trust you again.
don't drop her thing.
This is the
You know, hold on. Time out.
Yeah.
On a
All
side
right,
note,
hold on. We got a full list here.
I need to step him. What's that?
how did he cube this?
By
Did he stack them on top of each other, every 6 foot tall person?
no, I think what he did is he just crossed out the 2 and put a 3, and he just used that number.
Like I said, fuzzy math.
He took the 44,000, he divided it by 2, and then multiplied that number
I
by
guess
3.
there's a
Again, we're talking
chance
about
I could have
penises. Yes,
I could have read Neapoli in Greece as another thing in India, but I don't know.
Voodoo math.
Voodoo math.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Chance
So
you could've just made it up.
I think he probably did.
Or I could have
So-
just figured out that 44,000 people in a square mile.
So then you turned that into a cube by just crossing out the 2 and putting a 3 at the top.
No, I didn't turn that into a cube.
By dividing it in half and multiplying by 3.
I don't know if you know, but squared is to the second power and
Oh.
cubed is to the third.
Oh, I do understand that. We were doing mathematics that was up to the 15th, 10
Yeah.
to the 15th. Yeah.
So how did you calculate the cube?
Yeah.
I divided it by itself and then did the square root and then multiplied it by 3.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a moment.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about that
We
flaw.
have how many thousand kilometers or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the people are about 6 foot tall.
Right.
So when we're actually talking about
I'm not
making
saying
this
it's
three-dimensional,
perfect
we have to
math.
stack it on top of each other.
I'm not saying
every
it's
6
perfect
feet.
math. I'm saying there's a plus minus of about 1 billion. And when the number ends,
800 quadrillion.
When the number ends up with a quadrillion,
yes,
then
I
feel like a billion is within a reasonable margin of error.
Okay.
I mean,
so your final calculation was what?
64.4 quadrillion.
Okay. And then we sat down to do the real math. Go ahead, give the explanation.
The horrible math, the math that every single man in this listening to this should cringe at.
So back to the question at hand: how many, not Venuses but penises, will fit into the planet Jupiter?
Right.
Now we're trying to figure out how to do this. We don't say let's just uproot a piece of land out of the earth and send it to Jupiter, and how many times can we fit that in there? That wasn't the question.
That wasn't the question.
How many Chinese people can we send over there?
Listen, Corey, I'd like a Granny Smith apple, and you come back with a bag of fruit. That is not the same thing.
I say...
It's literally apples and oranges.
I say that if Granny Smith apples came connected to a bunch of fruit, and I brought the bunch of fruit that the apple was connected to, then I did right. By bringing you...
You brought a whole tree when I asked for a piece of fruit.
Because I'm not going to separate a Granny Smith apple from the rest. I'm not going to separate a man from his penis. I'm just going to say, listen, if you want to put the person through the chopping off of the penis or the chemical removal of the penis, and then put 64.1 trillion or quadrillion of them in a rocket and send it to Uranus or Jupiter.
We are 64. What is this? 64 episodes in?
Yeah,
64 episodes in. This is the most ridiculous conversation we have ever had on the podcast. So Corey wants to send penises with men to Uranus, and we are talking about volume of Jupiter.
I'm a humanitarian. I do not want to remove the penises off of people.
All right.
Rob and JR do.
Okay, can you just
go ahead?
Go ahead. Now what was the question? The question, scientist and mathematician.
The question wasn't how many penises do we want to chop off and send to Jupiter. It was how many penises could you stuff deep inside Jupiter?
How much penis and creamy goodness could you...
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Unnecessary.
Too far?
Too far.
So, Rob Cheek here and I, we sat down.
Mm-hmm.
We put our thinking caps on.
We did.
And we thought, there must be a way to solve this once and for all.
The math is there.
The math
It's
is simple.
clearly just a math problem.
So we figured we don't really need to be 100% exact, but if we get close, we're going to be way closer than Corey.
Than human beings stacked on top of each other, which is not the question.
Oh, yeah, that was ridiculous. So we decided to do some research of our own.
Mm-hmm.
And so we figured we'd start out with, let's find the volume of a penis.
Right.
Now, we all know that all penises are not created equal.
Can I?
No,
hold on.
You had your time.
No, because
had your time.
I found the exact wording from Google.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, 29 cities cover land areas of more than 1,000 square miles of 2,500 square kilometers. Demographic World Urban Areas Table 3. All but 2 of the 10 densest cities are on the Indian subcontinent. Dhaka continues to lead in density with 114,000 residents per square mile, 44,000 per square kilometer. And didn't I say 4,000? 44,000?
But that...
Didn't it say Indian subcontinent?
Okay, all right. You've said... Let the scientist talk. Go ahead.
All right, well, long story short.
This is somebody who makes, he's not a
The
scientist.
size of the penis.
There are certain factors we have to look at.
Right, so...
The volume, or size, which indicates volume.
Well, we need to determine volume. So
right.
what statistics do we need to find out about that penis?
So we need to know what we eventually learned was diameter, and from that we got radius, and then length. Because
no.
The penis is in fact a cylinder.
Yes,
so we need to find a volume of a cylinder. We need to know the diameter and the radius.
All right, let's start with some.
Be properly cylindrical. So
we're estimating.
There's
a little bit of every single one.
But wait.
Talking about that many,
No. But some guys have the
big.
swell in the middle. Some guys have the swell in the middle.
Some people have the turn.
Somebody's got that weird left turn. It's all about
some of them have that G-spot finder.
You guys are way too studied in this.
Oh, yeah, the most ridiculous conversation.
Listen, Rob pays for you porn, so he knows.
Which Rob? Because I don't pay for porn. What?
I
Who pays for that shit?
The one who denied it immediately.
I assume you meant the married guy because I don't pay for it. That's nuts.
I'm laughing.
So just to, quickly, we found the average penis size, both diameter we had the circumference.
So we
I hope every man who's listening to this is thinking about what they're going to do without their penis once Rob and JR are done with you.
So we had to figure out the volume of a penis.
If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Don't bang. Okay. So
We had to figure out the volume of
I
penis.
feel
So we had
so
to go to
bad
math
for Miss
class.
Loretta over here.
Oh no, poor Loretta. She's turned her chair the other way. We've embarrassed her.
Guys, I have no problem participating in this conversation with my mother in the room. It's fine. Doesn't matter.
Happy Father's Day to everyone out there, by the way. We're not going to steal your penis.
There's not going to be any more Father's Day once your penis is gone.
okay, all right. Let's cover this ground.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Corey continues to digress.
All right, to move very, very quickly
I
through
do it well.
mathematics. First, we need to find the area, and that's a very simple third grade equation: pi r squared.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to figure out what the radius of a penis is. So we wanted to find the average circumference.
Right.
And I believe, Rob, you looked that up. It was 4 point something or other.
4.48.
Something like
Hirschberg
that.
study from 2013 is the numbers.
Something about wrapping your fingers around it. That's about the
2 inches,
distance
right? Is
there.
that what we said? Okay.
So anyways, we figured that out, and then we just, deduced what the radius was.
Right.
And then we could calculate the area, and then we needed to, find the volume. So we needed, in a cylinder, we just averaged it out by looking at the length of an average penis, which
Right.
is what?
5.51.
5.51.
Right.
So we calculated this out, and then we converted it into
Meter squared.
Yeah, and we got inches cubed.
Inches cubed,
It was
right.
about 10.1 inches cubed.
Exactly
For an
right.
average penis.
There
So
you go.
everyone, you got about good solid 10 inches. It's not a lie when you tell that to the ladies.
Right. It's just volume.
Right. It's
Inches
just-
cubed.
When she looks at you disheartened later, you just be like, "Listen, I was speaking about volume, baby. I don't know what you." I'm a scientist.
It's all about the unit of measure.
That was the most awkward statement of the evening.
The evening of very awkward statements. Oh my god.
Go
okay,
on,
anyway,
go on, Jared.
So anyways, a few 10 to the 16ths later, and we find out... we find out that there are, in fact, how many were there?
870.
870 quadrillion penises, average-size penises, that would fit
in the planet Jupiter.
in the planet Jupiter. So, and that was what was your number, Corey?
64.4.
So there's a large difference there.
Yeah,
We're dealing
well,
with
when you're
quadrillions, so-
when you're worried about keeping penises away from people, then obviously.
Oh, chiming in. What?
Corey, I just want to challenge one thing here. Okay, you're so worried about removing the penis from the man. Okay,
Right.
You're so worried about what that's going to mean. You want to send the man to Jupiter?
I know. He
Yeah.
is, but I
The
don't think
man
he
is going to
understands.
die
Listen.
instantly, or it doesn't matter. The man's going to die instantly.
Yes.
Either
Yes.
way.
May I pose a question to the men
he
of the
might-
room?
He wouldn't die if you sever it in a medical facility. You
go.
probably would survive.
So
Would
these
you
guys right
would you
here, they're
prefer?
actually trying to
Would you
preserve life.
prefer?
Preserving life. That's what
Would
I
you
do.
prefer to live
870
without a penis?
Birth control.
Or just-
There's it. Yeah, that's a good question for the room.
I just
prefer
assumed with present company included that you would rather me just send you completely with your penis intact to Jupiter rather than
That is an interesting
remove it
question.
from you.
We're just going to take the penises from China. There's too many people in Asia, right?
There's not
we
enough.
Some issues?
Is there a quadrillion people in China?
Is that politically?
Is there several hundred quadrillion people in China that you intend on taking the penises from?
Oh my god!
You know what? Hold on. Maybe in addition to tougher gun control rights, we should also just castrate people like Darren Roof. Maybe that's the solution. Have you been castrated by the state for being jerk?
I give up. Oh my god!
the most ridiculous conversation. We'll take an equal division of penises from every country in the world.
North Korea, you're on the list, and Russia. And
Well, no, because we can't take North Korea because on average they're way smaller.
You'd be able to fit more, though.
Penises.
What's that?
Clone penises.
Clone
we grow
penises.
them in a lab.
There we
in a test
go.
Tube, and we send them straight to Jupiter.
Plastic.
Oh, but then it would just be a cylinder. The whole point is for it to be.
Listen,
So we find a guy with average penis and we clone him 870 quadrillion times.
Erect. If they're chopped off, they lose their blood supply.
Not if we cauterize the wound while it was erect. That would keep the blood inside.
Do you know how long that is?
Lightsaber, man.
Is going to keep it up erect.
when he knows it's coming off.
So let's
you are
discuss,
torturing the poor man.
Let's discuss how this happens.
We need to recalculate
So
based
basically-
on flaccid penis.
So basically, hold on.
No, so
How do you manage
about double now.
to do this to keep an erect man knowing that basically what you have to do is you just have to bring all the men in the world who ever existed ever
Okay, wait, no.
into
No.
conveyor belt factory and then just be like, hey, free glory hole, and just have them stick it in and then boom.
I would start with one, either find the average man and clone, because we can clone body parts. We just clone that. I think that works. Number two is, I'm thinking glory hole in a lightsaber. I think that's how you get that done. Right? Cauterize the wound. It's already in a chopping block of sorts.
You know what?
And it,
That's the first
Hold on.
you've had all night.
Thank
Hold
you.
on. What's the limit on change.org to get the president to say something? 100,000. So NASA must be like 10. I just have to get a survey of 10 people to sign a petition, and then I can get NASA to speak on it, right?
Right.
Because that's how important the difference is between their importance.
Absolutely, yes.
So, number one, NASA needs to give us an answer on this, a definitive answer.
How do we do this math?
Yeah.
How should we do it?
Yeah, and then
Sure.
you decide whether or not to eliminate the man from the penis, and then we know where the government stands on your
Okay.
dick.
Well, you are the one who doesn't want the government telling you things to do.
Well, if they're going to sit around and waste our money, they might as well tell me how many penises fit on Jupiter.
All right, so I do like that.
By the way, this conversation, this whole
Yes.
math that we did was free. As soon as NASA gets involved, it's going to cost $190 million.
as to your
And then the Russians are going to use a pencil.
As to your flaccid comment, I do enjoy that 15 minutes later we were standing outside and John comes on and he's like, so I've gotten a couple wild cards I think we need to address in this.
So we have a serious mathematical
We have a
situation
serious
here.
mathematical problem.
Pen and paper in hand, ready to go back to work. We've got to figure out how to solve this equation.
He's like, are they erect or are they flaccid? And then wasn't my response, flaccid penises don't matter or something?
It goes erect. Flaccid penises don't matter.
Oh my god. Oh, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you want to know how you spent your time on vacation, that was a solid half hour, 45
It
minutes.
was way longer than that. Because we've also talked about it for now 25 minutes on the podcast. We talked about
If you'd like to chime in, go to savethepenis.com.
Oh, no, that's Corey's site. Ours is, we got to find something else. Corey's would be Save the Penis.
SaveThePenis.org. Thank you very much.
Sorry. It's a charity. It's a charitable organization.
It's a 501c3 beacon.
I will remember you.
A montage of a bunch of penises. Just get Sarah McLachlan looking at you just every single day. Rob and JR cutting off thousands and thousands of penises trying to fill Jupiter. You
Help these
contribute.
penises safely reach Jupiter.
Well, you contribute
For only
Just
70 cents a day.
For only 70 cents a day. You can keep penises with their rightful owners.
That's less than a cup of coffee.
Won't you please donate 70 cents to allow a man to keep his junk?
It's going to be Ernest ribbons and everything.
Yeah, I think this is podcast of the year. That's what I think. We're going to the podcast awards based on this episode.
I think
Wait, EB goes, what color would they be?
Not the penises, the awareness ribbon.
Oh.
She's concerned about the fashion.
I think we got to go with white. I think white's the only color.
Whoa.
Well, not that. Whoa, no. Oh.
Whoa. Hey.
Well, if they're
I'm just trying to make
if they're
John feel
averaging
better
five
about
and a
his
half,
comment.
if they're averaging 5.5 inches,
Well, no, because then John also brought out another survey that said the average is actually 5.16, which would have thrown off our
do you
our
see
numbers.
a mouse or something?
No, I had a contact that I put on top of here,
Oh no!
and now it's gone.
Oh no!
Oh well.
First your contact, now your penis.
Rather it be my contact.
Gone
I was going to say, I think I would just volunteer to be the scientist on that particular thing. I wouldn't want to participate so much. Are you what? Are you dancing? Is this
Just making
happening
sure
now?
I
about
think-
myself,
you know
so
what?
thrusting
Hold
myself
on.
back and forth.
Give him a
Hold
thrust.
on. I think I figured it all out.
Oh dear Lord!
No.
I'm worried.
No, I figured it all out.
Horrified.
John's like laying on the floor right
Rob and JR.
Mm-hmm.
People who I once considered friends.
It's on my phone.
Nice.
Right where I put it.
There's that.
It's right where I put
There's
it.
an app for that. Siri, where's my contact? Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you.
Siri was holding it high.
just Siri has an arrow that points to it on your phone.
Hi, John. I found your contact.
Oh, you could do the arrow on your watch to point to your phone. There you go. See? Money. All right, so wait, what's your solution? Let's
It's not a solution.
Let's hear your name.
No, it's solution. It's not a solution. It's the real truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you might think that I'm a man with a tinfoil hat when I say this, but Rob and JR, two people who I once considered friends, two people who up until recently I vacationed with.
Up until immediately.
Up until right this second, vacationed with.
Bye, Corey.
Bye, Felicia. Want every man to lose their penis so that they're the only two left. They will be the only two left, and therefore can take all our women.
Well, that wasn't the source of the idea, but
Now that you think of it.
happy coincidence, I think. Yes, happy
No,
coincidence.
something tells me that this was the plan all along. Rather than send men blissfully to their death in Jupiter, you just want to eliminate all their penises and make you the only two who can possibly give women children.
If the men were sent to Jupiter, that still gets rid of them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't solve.
Yeah, but Rob and JR would be
So-
on that plane going to
Here's
rocket going to Jupiter, and I would remain here.
You're trying to
Right.
send them into a fiery ball gas planet and
Yes.
to the
See, there would be
certain death.
men for
I'm just-
company.
I'm just
us
trying-
for procreation. You want all the men dead on Earth.
Guys,
No.
You're the one who wants to be the last man on Earth.
By the time that ship gets there, they're all going to be dead anyway.
No.
That's a big ship. It's going to take some momentum to get that thing started.
Not only that, but it's going to take a long time to get to Jupiter.
Not that long. Jupiter's not that far away. We sent two.
Hold on. Let's go back to where it all began.
It could go to Uranus
that?
really
Still
quick.
got to build the ark.
Maybe the ark's already being built.
Uranus
Okay.
real quick.
Right, Corey?
Yeah. Listen.
Okay, Google. How long would it take to get to Jupiter?
Here is information from the Astronomy Cafe. Ask the astronomer.
It took the shuttle 1.9 years.
What shuttle?
I don't know. It says shuttle 1.9 years.
I think that might be from a movie.
Build the ship.
Galileo, it took a year.
79 billion.
Galileo took Galileo the probe, not the man.
Yeah. Not actual Galileo.
What's that?
Recently we had what was it? Remember the Saturn one?
Ooh, I got a
Whatever,
chart.
They went outside the solar system.
Yeah, Voyager 1 just left the solar
Voyager
system in
1,
2.
is that what it
Voyager
was?
1 and 2, yeah. And then
Galileo
Viking
was
leaving.
traveling at 54,000 miles per hour.
Okay.
So
So
it got
let's
to Jupiter in a year. A shuttle would get there in 1.9 years. Ion A, 1.5 years. Ion B, 55 days. Solar sail, 179 days. So it seems like Ion B at 650,000 miles per hour would be the way to go.
which is the new awesome engine that where they fire microwaves into an enclosed space and it creates a
How much does that cost?
whatever it was, it's 100% worth it. You can get the Alpha Centauri in a lifetime, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah. It's also going to be the way that Rob
So-
and JR send all your penises to.
I mean, there's another interesting question here,
Yeah.
and that is, are we talking about the surface of Jupiter, or are we talking about the whole of Jupiter?
No, volume of
So
Jupiter.
as you get closer to the core,
Right.
the penises are going to shrink.
No, but volume takes into account density.
No, it gets hotter in the core.
Right, so it's going to shrink.
It's going to expand. We didn't take into account expansion.
But volume doesn't change.
I would love if this math equation.
Atmospheric pressure.
I would love if this math equation gets
gravity.
Newtonian physics takes into account the fact that that things are more dense. Volume doesn't change; the density changes.
I would love so much if they just keep burrowing down on this formula over and over again, and then eventually come up with like 64.5 billion. Or quadrillion, and I'm just like,
we're never gonna
yes. It will always get to be more. When you're talking about density, it would be more, not less. I would really like to burrow down.
What if one of those penises expands and then becomes so big?
Here's what I say. Let's spend a couple days. We'll burrow down in this, try to win ourselves a Nobel Peace Prize, or a Nobel Prize for Physics.
Nobel Penis Prize.
Peace Prize goes to the guys who cut off everybody's dick.
Yes, exactly right. I really want to stand.
We go up there to accept our award, and it's like, boo.
I really want to stand on a stage in Stockholm and just throw dildos out from the audience.
We're those guys. You get a
What
dildo.
would the aliens think if they flew in and they saw us sitting on penises to Jupiter?
Just like the Martians are looking out, it's just like, is that a bunch of human penises? No, I know what they look like. We probed the shit out of them. Ooh.
So, by the way, everything that lives on Mars right now is a robot. So Mars is a robot planet.
Ooh.
Not enough weed for that in this crowd? Okay, that's cool. All right, yeah.
Not right now.
No. Sure. Come on.
What if there was like some bacteria on the robot from Earth, and then it's there now, and it's surviving, and then we discover the bacteria that we actually sent?
Oh, listen.
Then we think that it's Martian?
We think it's Martian, and then there was the whole problem of a probe came back, and they said it had Martian bacteria on it, but was it really Martian because we sent it out in space, and then was it ours that mutated or whatever? There's a lot of problems. This is why the aliens don't mess with us, because we are not there yet.
Okay. What you're going
we send penises to Jupiter.
What you're going to find in the show notes
penis
is an email is an email that was pre-written by either Rob or I, imploring NASA to give us an actual answer on this question.
It'll have to be you, because I'm not that invested in it. If I'm not getting a Nobel Prize for it, I'm not really invested.
And then we'll see if they respond. I'll call the press office or something like that and ask them if they have a response to that.
I think if we posted that on whitehouse.org, that might garner some support from the trolls. That'll end up on Reddit and 4chan.
At least some digging from the Secret Service.
Oh, that's why I was suggesting.
I just can't wait to get a well-dressed man in a black suit and an earpiece knocking on my door going like, why do you want to get rid of all our penises?
That's why I suggested Corey.
It's like, that's not me. That's not me. Rob and Jay are the ones who did it. I don't give a shit. I'll snitch all day.
Put your hands away from that penis.
I want you to walk out slowly. Keep your hands away from your penis.
No one's penis to Jupiter this morning.
Oh, God.
I get the good cop walking in, just going like, "Enjoy your penis this morning." Me too.
Me too.
No reason to make this a big thing.
Guns pointed at Jupiter.
I'm about to do some fractionals. Here we go.
Just one penis at a time. Eventually they catch me after I've cut off 74 of them.
Jesus, that's pretty prolific for not getting caught.
It wasn't cut.
What?
Oh, yeah, your point was not to cut them off.
Well, how am I supposed to fit a man in a potato gun? If I can't make the rocket, then I have to do with what I'm given.
Jesus Christ.
What have
we done? What have we done?
Oh, you know what I think we've done?
What's that?
Good here today.
I don't know about that. I don't know if we've done good, but we did something.
Well, you can find more O the Anthem at otheanthem.com. Where you can find our penis.
No, you cannot find our penises anywhere.
Not our penises, but something, a well-worded letter to NASA about sending penises to space.
Well, and if we know Corey's writing style, that'll be done about 6 years from tomorrow. So,
And
we got plenty of time.
If you have any further questions,
you should write it all down so we can deal.
If you have further questions, Corey at otheanthem.com.
I have a lot of questions.
Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, and the listener line. where I really want people to talk about this. 443-219-7595.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595.
And you can find me online at all your social networks at Robert N. Cheek, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, everywhere at Robert N. Cheek. Snapchat. You can buy my books on Amazon, The Movement Insurrection and Foe, both available on Amazon now. You can search my name, Robert N. with a period Cheek, and find my author page and find my books there.
Buy Rob's books.
Thank you. You can also check out adeaddrop.com for all your news that you will never find anywhere else. You can check out findingthefuture.us for my blog, and The Movement Insurrection for all the information about the books. All of that is entailed at robertncheek.com.
I do believe that's Robert who's making all that noise.
Not me.
Hey, my baby.
Eddie, my baby.
All right. Well,
is that all you got?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, big thank you to the crowd here. Whee!
Yay!
So you get
and
one.
JR for being involved.
Yes. You get one more of these ultra fun podcasts because we're going to have
vacation
to try and get
podcast.
one. Yeah, have to get one done next week here. So, if that's it for Corey, this is Rob. Oh, you've been listening to the O the Anthem podcast, part of the O the Anthem digital network. For Corey, this is Rob, and for everybody else, have a great week, everybody.
For only 70 cents a day, you can save a man from having his penis launched to Jupiter.